What's up guys, it's Joshua Simmons here again, Aesthetic Calisthenics, and in this video I'm going to show you the most optimum and the right way to lose weight. So if that's appealing to you, then watch the end of the video for all the tips and advice that I give to you, and as well please like, share and subscribe, as it does help me grow to make more useful content for you in the future. So without further ado, let's get right to the video.
I feel like I'm falling, the birdie is back. Tell me I'm garbage, I'm going through something, that's why I ain't calling. Phone and progression is all that I wanted. A phone in affection, I summon and dub it.
So, the main principle of weight loss is literally to be in a calorie deficit. Now, what a calorie deficit is when throughout the day you have burnt more calories than you have ingested in your system. Now, what that is going to do is it's going to need another resource to burn the calories that you haven't eaten, and what that's going to be is your fat. What fat is, talking scientifically if you didn't know, it's just your body's way of storing energy that was left over when you've eaten before. So when times when you don't have the food, it has fat to keep you going, keep you energized and keep you alive. So that's why we have fat. So what we need to do to lose the fat is to get in that state where our body does not have enough energy from the food we've eaten, so it has to burn the fat. There's two ways we do that. One, by our nutrition, so just to eat less than you normally would, so your body has less food inside of it. And then two, to burn more calories throughout the day. There's different kind of training and ways you can do that that I'll go through in the video, and there's different ways that you can make eating at a calorie deficit a lot easier, which as well I'll go through the video. That is the main point for this video, and it's the main point of weight loss. You need to be on a calorie deficit in order to lose weight. It's literally the laws of science, it's laws of thermodynamics. Energy cannot be created or destroyed. If your body does not have the energy to function, it's going to resort to fat and it's going to burn the fat, and that's how you lose weight. There's no other thing to it. You know what I mean? Anyone who tells you otherwise is lying. On the side of nutrition, here's where it gets a little more complex. The main goal, like I've said before, is to eat less than you burn throughout the day, and that means eating less than you normally would. So I've got tips for that. The first tip is just to generally eat healthier. Cut out the chocolates, the crisps, the high sugar foods, the high fat foods, because obviously they're not going to be as good for you, and that's going to quickly put on the fat, and it's going to clog up your arteries and a lot of other unhealthy things that are just generally not good for your well-being, and also not good for weight loss. So what you want to do is cut those foods out because they're high calorie dense. You eat one little chocolate bar and it's packed with like 300-400 calories, and it doesn't feel like that in your system, so you just eat more and more and you eat a lot of calories, and you don't want that. So another thing is to eat more whole meal and whole foods. The reason you want to do that is because whole foods tend to have the goodness still inside of it, such as fiber. Now I want to talk about fiber for things especially like carbs. It's because when you eat whole foods on the carb side, what it's going to do is it's going to have a lot more fiber in, and what the fiber does is slows down the metabolism and the breaking processes of the food turning into energy in your body. And what that's going to do is make the food that you eat last, give you energy throughout the whole day, rather than giving you a ton of energy for the first couple hours and then you feel like really low and out of energy for the rest of the day. And then what happens when you eat food with not a lot of fibre in, like carbs and sugars with not a lot of fibre, what happens is you get a lot of energy, and then it has a lot of energy left over. What happens with energy that gets left over, like I've talked about, gets turned into fat, and then all that energy has been put onto you, like I said, for a couple hours, and the rest of the day you feel low because all the energy's gone. So what do you do when you feel low? You eat more food, and then you end up eating more food, putting more fat on, and that's how you end up putting on calories. Whereas if you ate a whole food with a lot of fibre in, such as wholemeal bread instead of white bread, or fruit instead of just sweets and chocolates, what's going to happen is you're going to feel the energy is going to slowly go in your system throughout the day. So you don't have too much energy, like loads of energy left over that gets turned into fat. Instead, the energy gets used throughout the day, and you feel good the whole day, and you don't need to eat as much. So that's one tip I have for you: eat generally healthier and start to eat more whole foods, especially the ones with more fibre. So I've said that the two ways for you to lose weight is 1, nutrition, and 2, through burning calories throughout the day, and that means exercise. So you're probably thinking, okay, so what exercise is optimum for me to lose weight? So going back into my days at school doing physics, what I learned is work done, or energy lost, is force applied times distance that you've moved. So yes, you need to have push a lot of force or have a certain resistance, but the main thing is distance. You need to move your body a lot in order for you to lose weight. So a lot of people think that weightlifting and doing, I don't know, a heavy bench press, for example, or calisthenics, doing some pull-ups, is going to help them lose weight. It's not the best way, and the reason for that is, yes, your muscles are working very hard and it's very intense for you, but you're not moving that much. Let's just say for a pull-up, you're only moving your arms here and back up, and that's not gonna burn that many calories because it's only your arms moving. Whereas if you compare that to skipping, or you compare that to running, if you've run a mile, your legs have been ticking over for a long time, and you've travelled a mile essentially. So the distance you've actually moved is a lot more. So that's the way that you burn calories through exercise. Literally making this simple, the more you move, the more you're going to burn calories. So any exercise when you're moving a lot, that's the one you got to go for. Any exercise where your heart's pounding out your chest, you're breathing heavily, that's showing that your heart's pumping to keep the blood and the energy going around your system. That shows that you're doing cardio and you're burning calories. 2, what I'd say is eat more satiating and less calorie dense foods. What a low calorie dense food or a satiating food is, it's a food that fills your stomach up, so it makes you feel full, but it doesn't actually have a lot of calories in. Good foods for this are the generally healthy foods, like vegetables, fruits, protein. Protein's very satiating, it fills up your stomach, makes you feel very full, but you haven't actually eaten a lot of calories. That's why a lot of people tell you to eat a lot of protein to lose weight, because it fills up the stomach. So any food that is low calorie dense and it fills you up but doesn't actually have a lot of calories, eat that, because it's going to fill you up, it's going to make you feel full, and you're not going to feel like you need to eat anything, but you've actually ate less than if you were to eat a bag of Doritos or a box of chocolates. There are 2 types of cardio and exercises you can do, and activities you can do throughout the day to lose weight. One is LISS. It stands for low intensity steady state, and another one is called HIIT, which is high intensity interval training. The differences between the two is basically one, which is less, you're going moderate intensity to low intensity, and it's basically just enough to get the heart pumping a bit, but you just keep that pace for as long as possible. Literally, with low intensity steady state, it's literally the more movement you do, the better, and then the more you do it, the more calories you're going to burn, the faster you're going to lose weight, and the faster you're going to get to the results you want. So that's great. Ways to do low intensity steady state would be literally any kind of training which isn't too intense on your body and you can do for a long time is a great way to lose weight, and that's part of low intensity steady state or LISS training. So another kind of training is called HIIT training, which is called high intensity interval training. That's when you're doing exercises at higher intensity, so your heart rate is a lot higher, like 70% and up. So an example of that would be interval running, so like 30 seconds jogging and then 30 seconds sprinting as fast as you can. And you see my heart's going, and that is gonna burn calories in the quickest rate possible. You just can't do it for that long. You can't do it for that long. This is recommended more for people who are more advanced and more athletic, because they're a lot fitter, so they can push themselves in high intensity interval training more. It's a great one if you don't have a lot of time to train, you just want to get a really good workout in. I would recommend high intensity interval training. And again. Now, the third thing, which is quite not a lot of people talk about, and I've only recently found out, is instead of eating a little bit for breakfast and a lot for dinner, try and switch it around. Try and eat most of your calories for breakfast. What that's going to do is going to fill you up with a lot of energy, which will last throughout the day, especially if you're eating foods with a lot of fibre in, like I said before. And what that's going to do is it's going to stop you from craving a lot of food throughout the day when you eat a lot in the morning, and then you will use up the energy throughout the day, and then when you go to sleep you will have a lot of energy when you're sleeping, so you're unconscious throughout the time when you're essentially fasting. Whereas what people do is the opposite. They don't eat a lot for breakfast, which makes them feel hungry throughout the day, so they will snack, and when you snack you normally eat crisps, chocolates, which, like I've said, not good for your health, and they're very high calorie dense. And then when it comes to dinner, they eat a lot more, and then they've got a lot of energy stored up from dinner. But what happens with the energy? Nothing, because you're asleep and you're not using the energy like you would if you were going throughout the day. So that energy that you've eaten for dinner then gets stored into fat, and it's the same with throughout the day when you've been snacking, because you feel hungry because you don't have enough energy from breakfast. So that's one thing I would do: switch the bulk of your calories from dinner to breakfast, and then you'll be able to use it more efficiently throughout the day instead of just sleeping and then have it store as fat. One great way to lose weight, and an easy way as well to be on a calorie deficit, to burn calories throughout the day, is just walking. But just walk everywhere. Don't walk a little bit, you've got to walk a lot. I would say if you need to get somewhere and it's below a mile away from where you are, just walk there. There's no point getting the bus, there's no point driving there, just walk, because the amount of calories you burn from walking around is insane. You don't burn a lot quickly, but when you walk a lot during the day, you're always on your feet, you burn so much calories and you don't even realize it. So that's another good way to lose a lot of weight. And then another great way to burn calories and lose weight is running. It's probably one of the best ways to lose weight and burn calories, because the rate at which you burn calories is very quick. So especially if you're running at a high pace. So yeah, the only thing with running, a lot of people find it unpleasant to do, but if you can satisfy the slight discomfort, then it's a great thing to do if you want to lose weight. Another great exercise that I like to do to burn calories and good for overall cardio and fitness is skipping. You can start off as a beginner with the just slow skip, and then you can work with the double hops, then getting into normal skipping. And then the thing I love about skipping is you can always make it more fun, more challenging, learn more skills, learn more moves, and you're always just like thinking, constantly focusing, getting your coordination right. And it's just something fun to do that I like to do whilst burning calories and getting fitter.
I was starving, skinny, now my weight up, got no energy for haters. See you trying, see you later. I'm shooting for the stars, need no laser beam, blowing like the greatest, but it's one who's always greater. Yo, go dummy, go beast on them. I go beast, go deep, I OD on them. Apply pressure, put heat on them. Put that 500 degrees on them. 500 degrees, go dummy, go beast on them. I go beast, go deep, I OD on them. Apply pressure, put heat on them. Put that 500 degrees on them.
So, there are loads of different types of cardio out there that you can do to lose weight, burn calories, and have a better physique, such as swimming, cycling, dancing, like there's Zumba classes, there's spinning, there's spinning bikes, you have them elliptical machines, the mad things that you always see in the gym. I don't know what the hell you call them, because there's so many these weird. There's loads of different exercises you can do to lose weight, and the main thing is you've got to find one that you enjoy, because the most important thing about all these exercises is you have to do it a lot, and what you need to do a lot, you've got to enjoy, because it's gonna get frustrating and it's gonna get demanding on you if you don't enjoy it. What I did was martial arts. I did kickboxing, and that made me really lean and really skinny. And that wasn't my purpose at all. It was the fact that I just wanted to be really good at kickboxing, and I was really competitive at it, so I trained it a lot, and because of that I burnt a hell of a lot of calories. And yes, kickboxing, the exercise that burns a considerable amount of calories. And yeah, because I did that a lot, I was very skinny, which then led me to go to calisthenics to build more muscle. But yeah, do something that you enjoy. Any sport that you are moving a lot and it's putting some emphasis on your heart and lungs, and you enjoy it as well, do it, because the more you do, the more you're going to burn calories. And it's something that you don't do for a week and then stop. Like I've said in my other video, 5 rules of calisthenics, or 5 things you must know before calisthenics. You've got to be consistent, and it's the same thing with losing weight. You've got to always be on a calorie deficit, you've always got to eat less, and you've always got to do exercise, you've always got to be active. This isn't for a week and then you can just slack off. You've got to be constantly moving, constantly exercising, and in order to do that you've got to enjoy what you're doing. So pick an exercise, pick some kind of sport or some kind of activity that you enjoy and burns a lot of calories, and do it a lot and enjoy your time doing it, because there's nothing worse than doing an exercise to burn calories that you hate. You just end up getting sick of it. That's not what you want. So yeah, anyway, it's been a long video as it is. This is Joshua Simmons, Aesthetic Calisthenics. Peace out.